attended the veteran's funeral. No one attended the veteran's funeral. Except for one man, Johnny Depp. Arlington National Cemetery. Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. sharp. Rain drizzling like tears from a gray October sky. And there's this old veteran's casket, draped in the American flag, sitting next to a freshly dug grave. But here's the thing that'll make your heart sink. The funeral director is standing there checking his watch, looking around at absolutely nothing. Empty folding chairs arranged in perfect rows. Not a single soul in sight. This is Harold Mitchell, 87 years old. Vietnam War veteran. Purple Heart recipient. And apparently completely forgotten by the world. Asterisk. Asterisk. But wait, there's something moving in the distance. Asterisk. Asterisk. A black SUV pulls up to the cemetery gates. Tinted windows. No fanfare. The engine cuts, and out steps a figure in a long, dark coat. Collar turned up against the rain. Sunglasses despite the cloudy weather. Walking with purpose toward Harold's grave. The funeral director squints, trying to make out who this could be. Is it family? A long-lost friend? As the figure gets closer, something about the walk seems familiar. That slightly off-kilter swagger. The way he carries himself like he's stepping onto a movie set. Even in a cemetery. Asterisk. Asterisk. The funeral director's jaw literally drops. Asterisk. It's Johnny Depp. The Johnny Depp. Jack Sparrow himself, standing at a complete stranger's funeral in the middle of Arlington Cemetery. But here's where it gets weird. Depp doesn't just stand there for a quick photo op. He doesn't call any paparazzi. He doesn't even take off those sunglasses. He just stays. The funeral director, still in shock, manages to stammer through the basic ceremony. A few words about Harold's service. The folding of the flag. The playing of taps from a distant bugle. And Johnny Depp stands there through all of it. Hands clasped in front of him. Head bowed. Completely still except for the rain dripping off his coat. Asterisk. Asterisk. But then something incredible happens. Asterisk. When the ceremony ends, and the funeral director starts packing up, expecting this surreal moment to be over, Depp doesn't leave. Instead, he walks right up to Harold's casket. He places his hand on the flag-draped wood and says something, too quiet for anyone else to hear. But you can see his lips moving. He's talking to Harold like they're old friends. The funeral director is trying not to stare. But come on, it's Johnny Depp having a conversation with a dead veteran. Here's where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. Asterisk. Asterisk. After about 10 minutes of this one-sided conversation, Depp reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out something small, something metallic, that catches what little light is filtering through the clouds. It's a military challenge coin, but not just any coin. This one's old. Really old. The kind you get for being in places you're not supposed to talk about. Doing things that never make it into the history books. Depp looks at this coin for a long moment, rolling it between his fingers, like he's done 1,000 times before. Then he does something that makes the funeral director question everything he thought he knew about celebrity and genuine human decency. He places that coin right on top of Harold's casket, right in the center of the American flag. Asterisk. Asterisk. But the mystery deepens. Asterisk. Asterisk. As Depp finally turns to leave, the funeral director can't help himself. He has to ask, "Excuse me, Mr. Depp. I don't mean to pry, but did you know Harold?" Johnny stops walking, turns around slowly, and for the first time since he arrived, he takes off those sunglasses. His eyes are red. Not from the rain. "No," he says, his voice carrying that familiar rasp but without any of the swagger. "I never met Harold, but I knew men like Harold." The funeral director is confused. "I'm sorry, I don't understand." Depp looks back at the casket, then at the funeral director. "My grandfather was career Navy. 26 years. He used to tell me stories about guys like Harold. The ones who came back from wars that nobody wanted to think about anymore. The ones who did their job, kept their mouths shut, and then got forgotten." Asterisk. Asterisk. The truth starts coming together. Asterisk. Asterisk. That coin, Depp continues, belonged to my grandfather. He gave it to me before he died. Said someday I'd know what to do with it. The funeral director realizes he's witnessing something way bigger than a celebrity showing up to a random funeral. This is personal. This is Johnny Depp settling a debt that's been weighing on him for years. But how did you even know about Harold? The funeral director asks. Depp almost smiles. Almost. I have people who keep an eye out for these things. Veterans who die alone. Funerals with no attendees. It happens more than you'd think. Asterisk. Asterisk. Plot twist incoming. Asterisk. Asterisk. This isn't the first one I've been to, Depp admits. There was Margaret in Portland last month. 83-year-old Navy nurse. Funeral for one. There was Robert in Phoenix 2 months ago. Korean War vet. Same situation. The funeral director's mind is blown. You do this regularly? When I can, Depp says, putting his sunglasses back on. My grandfather always said the worst thing that could happen to a service member wasn't dying for their country. It was dying and having their country forget they ever lived. He starts walking back toward his SUV, then pauses one more time. Harold Mitchell served 2 tours in Vietnam. Earned a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star. Came home to a country that spat on him. Worked construction for 40 years without ever talking about what he'd been through. Never married because he said the war took that part of him away. Asterisk. Asterisk. The final revelation hits like a thunderbolt. Asterisk. He spent his last 15 years volunteering at the VA hospital, sitting with younger vets who were going through what he went through. Guys from Iraq, Afghanistan. He'd just sit there and listen. Never judged. Never preached. Just was there. The funeral director realizes Harold wasn't forgotten at all. Not by the people who mattered. How do you know all this? He asks. Depp is almost to his car now. Because Harold saved my nephew's life. Asterisk. Asterisk. Everything clicks into place. Asterisk. Asterisk. My nephew came back from Afghanistan in 2019. PTSD. Survivor's guilt. The whole nightmare. He was in a dark place. Really dark. And somehow he ended up at that VA hospital where Harold volunteered. Depp's voice gets quieter. Harold sat with him every Tuesday for 8 months. Never asked for anything. Never wanted credit. Just showed up. Every week. Until my nephew was ready to start living again. The funeral director understands now why Johnny Depp is standing in the rain at a stranger's funeral. I never got to thank Harold while he was alive, Depp says. My nephew didn't even tell me about him until after Harold passed. Said Harold made him promise not to turn their friendship into some kind of publicity thing. Asterisk. Asterisk. The ending that changes everything. Asterisk. Asterisk. Depp gets to his car door, then turns back one final time. You want to know the real kicker? Harold knew who I was the whole time. My nephew finally told him last year. And you know what Harold said? The funeral director waits. He said, well, tell your Uncle Jack Sparrow that some treasures are worth more than gold. Johnny Depp gets in his SUV and drives away, leaving the funeral director standing alone in the rain next to Harold's grave, with that challenge coin glinting on the American flag. Asterisk. Asterisk. But here's what the funeral director discovers later that day. Asterisk. Asterisk. When he goes to remove the coin before burial, he finds an envelope tucked underneath it. Inside is a check made out to the VA hospital's PTSD program. The amount, $100,000. In the memo line, just 2 words. For Harold. And at the bottom of the envelope a handwritten note. Some people are worth remembering, even when, especially when, the world forgets. Thank you for saving someone I love. J.D. Asterisk. Asterisk. The story doesn't end there. Asterisk. Asterisk. 6 months later, the Harold Mitchell Memorial Fund has raised over $2 million for veteran mental health services. All because one forgotten funeral caught the attention of a man who understood that real heroism isn't about being famous. It's about showing up. Even when nobody else does. Asterisk. Especially when nobody else does. Harold Mitchell was buried, with full military honors after all. Not because of the ceremony that day, but because of the ceremony that followed. In the lives he touched, the nephew he saved, and the stranger who refused to let him be forgotten. Some treasures really are worth more than gold. Asterisk. And that's a wrap on today's story. But before you scroll away, remember this: there are Harold Mitchells in every city. Veterans who gave everything, and are dying alone. Maybe we don't all have Johnny Depp money, but we all have the ability to show up. Big someone's reason to believe the world still cares. Asterisk.